Welcome to RPTV Weekly News Show. My name is Jabin and my co-hosts are Fred and Victoria. We present news that impacts on Regent Park and the surrounding areas.
In this episode, we present the following news for the week of June 17th to June 24th, 2022.
Report of the June 21st, 2022 Regent Park SDP Stakeholders Table meeting.
Beautification Project 2022 takes place in Regent Park.
Taste of Regent Park returns every Wednesday from July 6th to September 21st, 2022.
Toronto community housing buildings score worst in city's own evaluations.
Toronto Police Chief apologizes to Black community as race-based data released.
1 in 5 Canadians reported going hungry due to rising food prices.
COVID-19 and vaccination update. The pandemic is not over. 7th COVID wave possible this fall. Dr. Theresa Tam tells MPs.
Vaccination clinics in the neighborhood. Events, jobs, and trainings in Regent Park.
Report of the June 21st, 2022 Regent Park SDP Stakeholders Table meeting. The Regent Park Social Development Plan is a community-wide initiative aimed at fostering social inclusion and cohesion. The SDP Stakeholders Table is the main decision-making body responsible for the implementation of Social Development Plan. The Stakeholders Committee meets 4 times yearly. Intended to be a coalition of stakeholders serving or residing in Regent Park, participation on the Stakeholders Table is open to anyone, including market and TCHC residents, agencies, grassroots groups, faith groups, and business located in or serving Regent Park. TCHC and its development partners, City of Toronto, and elected representatives serving Regent Park. While membership is open to all, voting privileges are restricted to residents and stakeholders groups who are actively involved on the various working committees of the SDP. The working committees are communications, community building, safety, employment and economic development, funding and evaluation and benchmarks. The SDP Stakeholders Table is coordinated by a planning committee. The June 21st, 2022 hybrid and in-person meeting of the Regent Park Stakeholders Table took place at the CSI Community Living Room located on the first floor of Daniel Spectrum, and it was live-streamed on Zoom and the Regent Park TV YouTube channel. The meeting was chaired by Ismail Afra, the TCRC resident co-chair, Marlene De Genova, the market resident co-chair, and Greg Gary, the executive director of Kiwanis Boys and Girls Club, representing the Executive Directors Network. Marlene De Genova began the meeting with a welcome and presenting the evening's agenda. After the introductions and initial greetings, Deniso Dian O'Leary expressed words of gratitude and land acknowledgement. The first item of the agenda was an update about the SDP transparency of process of the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group selection process, given by Walid Kogali Ali. Walid answered questions from the community about their recruitment process.
Tridel, which is the developer partner for phases 4 and 5, committed $26.8 million in community benefits. So we're still in search for 2 market residents to sit on the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. If you serve in the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group, you will help the community determine how to spend that $26 million and change. Okay, so please apply. Please apply to be in the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group.
The second item of the agenda was a decision-making item regarding strategic planning, with a presentation shared by Dini Peters explaining the request and ask from the Planning Committee.
As the revitalization process continues to evolve, our social development plans should also revolve. Therefore, on behalf of the SDP Planning Committee, we are asking the Stakeholders Table to carry out a strategic planning process and agree to establish a steering committee to explore resourcing and assist in the design, planning, and implementation of the strategic planning session.
After Dini's presentation, the meeting was opened up for questions and clarifications. After some discussion, concerns, and objections to build consensus on creating a strategic planning committee, it was decided to hold the item for the next Stakeholders Table meeting.
Even if there are problems happening within the Stakeholders Table, strategic planning is one way to identify that problem. So if there are problems about how meetings are happening, strategic planning will help us find the problem and find ways to solve for it. So it's a way to look forward into where we are, where we're going, and to find what our problems are and what our solutions are. So if we don't do this strategic planning, we wouldn't be able to find the problems and solve for them. Okay, so thank you. Because there were objections raised, we will hold the item for the next stakeholder table meeting.
Greg Gary introduced the next agenda item regarding the Anti-Racism Action Program, shared on Zoom by Amal.
Let's go into why this project exists. What we know is that the Regent Park community members have experienced trauma resulting from historic and structural racism, exclusion, and isolation. As such, this project was created to address anti-racism and discrimination in Regent Park and in the SDP's works and initiatives that they are working on. This is important because racism is deep-rooted, so community networks, service providers, grassroots organizations, community members, etc., all need to do the deep work to uproot racism, to name it, to unpick it, so that healing and transformation can occur within themselves and within their community.
After Amal's Anti-Racism Action Program presentation, Marlene De Genova introduced the presentations by the 4 working groups. The first group to present was Community Building, co-chaired by Walid Kogali and Joel Klassen.
The Community Building Working Group has been very, very busy. We've done an orientation early on this year. We were also very involved in planning Sunday in the Park virtually for the first time. So that's one amazing event that we do that we want to do again this year.
So we've had a couple of funding cycles, and we have projects that have happened or are happening. The ones that have happened in the first round was access to recreation, where we are continuing to work to try to get better access, especially to the swimming pool and the community center and generally to the city recreation programs. And another one is access to spaces, trying to create ways for the community to have access to spaces that they might not have easy access to otherwise. Then another project under the community building is Football for All, which is a summer sort of soccer league especially for kids and youth. Then there was a second round of funding, and in that, there's been a number of projects that were connected to community building, and one of them is the Women's Social Healing Circle, which has been going quite well, led by a number of women from the community. There is the Youth Enrichment Academy, which is a program out of the Community Health Center. It's kind of like an after-school program for middle school, kind of like a predecessor to what some people or many people are very familiar with is the Pathways program for high school students. That had funding through the community funding, the deep dive. There's Healing is One has received funding, which is they have a safe space for youth upstairs here, and they do a lot of different work in the community around festivals and different events and so on.
The next presentation by the Employment and Economic Development was shared on Zoom and presented by the Employment and Economic Development lead, Brian Eng. The group announced the night market through the City of Toronto. The night market will happen on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in July and August. Denise Odian O'Leary from CSI gave more information about this initiative.
The night market is a partnership between CSI and the Employment and Economic Development Group. We applied for some funding from the City of Toronto. It's a Main Street Activation Fund. We received $50,000 from the Main Street Activation Fund, and what it will look like is there will be 3 anchor female entrepreneurs who will have booths at the night market. We suspect that the location will actually be here at the Spectrum building, just on the patio outside of the CSI community living room. And so it'll be a combination of 3 anchor women-owned businesses here in Regent Park, and then a rotating group of other female entrepreneurs from the Employment and Economic Development table. And so you'll have at least 8 vendors. Currently, we're looking for other groups from the neighborhood to sort of animate that space. We're thinking Friends of Regent Park, we're thinking Square Circle, just a place for people to set up play tables and play spaces for families and people in the community. The night market will include entertainment and will happen at least 2 nights during the week. We're thinking Friday and Saturday night or Thursday and Saturday night. And it's a way for us to support local entrepreneurs, support local businesses in the community, and also a way for us to encourage the community and the residents to come out and join the sort of streetscape as it goes through throughout the summer months. So
the next presentation was shared by the Safety Working Group. Ines Garcia, Lord Pike, Lisette Casul, and Sadja shared updates and their experiences as members of the safety network.
I'm just going to give you a little information of when, since we got this grant, what we have accomplished and how many people have attended. We did CPR standard for 2 days. We had 31 attendees. CPR emergency, we had 2 days, 32 attendees. We had speaking with confidence, 38 attendees. That was twice we had it. How to lead a meeting, we had 13 attendees. Mental health first aid, we had 41 people. Advocacy, we had 31. Community trauma awareness, we had 33, and total from a year to now, 219 participants.
The last presentation was shared by the communications group. Adonis Huggins, Ibrahim Afra, Denise, and the SDP promotion team gave an update about their activities and ongoing projects.
We have 4 projects that we'd like to very quickly talk to you about. One is Regent Park TV. The other one is the Regent Park newsletter, monthly newsletter. The next one is Hello Neighbor. And the third project is SDP promotion. So we're going to go through all of those things today. Talk about RPTV first. So RPTV, as you know, stands for Regent Park TV. It's your TV. You should watch it. Unfortunately, the only place you can get it right now is on YouTube. So you have, no, I stand corrected, and Abraham will correct me in a few minutes. But currently, it's on YouTube, so we'd like you to subscribe on it. But coming now, it is also on the Hello Neighbor app, which again will be talked about. One thing about Regent Park TV is we provide the infrastructure to do events like this. So if you look around, you got the cameras over here, you got the mics working, the speakers working, and when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, don't blame me. So we provide the infrastructure to make events happen and meetings happen whenever technical equipment is needed. The other thing we do is we produce a weekly show, our weekly news show that we like you to be engaged with, and it's called Regent Park Weekly TV. And again, we just take the events that happen over the course of the week and meetings that happen, the SDP meetings. So it's a way for you to find out what the SDP meetings are about, what we talk about, and then other issues that happen in the neighborhood. So I really encourage you to all watch that. We have a newspaper that goes out to the community called the Regent Park Monthly News. It's an e-newsletter. Denise, do you want to say a few words about that?
The Regent Park newsletter was restarted about 2 years ago, and it comes out every month. It is sourced from the community, so all of the articles, Adonis and his team at Regent Park Focus give us photos and news articles and that kind of stuff from the community. And also, as a resident, you can contribute to the newsletter on a monthly basis. There's a call out that happens at the end of the month, so usually we want things in by the last week of the month, and then the newsletter goes out the first week of the new month. The curators are 2 residents of Regent Park, Marguerite and Maya. They're fabulous. and they try and get as much as they can in. So if you have programming that you want to include, if you have posters that you want to include, if you have articles or pictures or creative writing that you want to include, it really is your newsletter, and the whole point is to showcase your stories and your thoughts and your ideas, and also to connect you to different things happening in the community. So Adonis and his team do a great job of getting things out to you on a weekly basis, but this is for some of the bigger pieces and also something that residents can contribute to on a monthly basis. We have close to 1,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to it, please do so. I know Waleed has contributed to it, and I know lots of other folks in the community have contributed to it. And it's a really nice way to connect. As you can connect daily to RPTV, you can connect weekly to the weekly news, and then you can connect monthly to the newsletter as well.
We all came together to build this app just for you guys. Regent Park has its own app now, and you guys need to download it. Everything that is going on in the neighborhood, whether there is a meeting, whether there is an event, it even has a system navigation that YSM is putting together where you can find all the programs, all the services that you need, all in one place. So please download it. We're looking for folks to download it as soon as possible. So please download it. I have the QR code. So let's come to the back and download it, please. But I will pass on to this amazing next team, and you will hear so many beautiful projects. Thank you.
So the fourth project is the SDP promotions. So here to tell you what the SDP promotions are. Go ahead.
Hi guys. So there you go. Can you hear me? There you go. I'm too short. Okay. So we got hired for the community promotion, whatever is happening in the community, I guess. Please, if you guys need to find out any information, just stop me and then ask me. I'm more than happy to share anything I know. These are two of them that also got hired, and then whatever the information I have, and then I will pass it on to them. They will also have that access. I know this app is not easy to download, and I'm also learning myself too. So I'm more than happy to help you guys out if you guys have any difficulty, hard time, and then I'm here to promote in an easy way and accessible way as possible, as much as possible. We created that poster for the SDP and then to show the stakeholder table as well. So we'll see. Like if you guys don't understand the flyers or anything, just let us know, and then I'm more than happy to make it simple as possible, just community can understand.
Yes, I'm Lizette, and recently I was hired by the communication table to to promote and the social development plan, and to bring more people to get engaged into the 4 working group. And my goal is to, because like the social development plan goal is to build cohesion and inclusion. Every day, like for 4 hours, we go out there and talk with the residents, market residents, TCH residents, for them to come and join this 4 working group, so we can help build this amazing community and build the future, like pass the knowledge to our kids, because we are here today seeing all these beautiful things, amazing things that happen in our community. But if we don't get engaged, how are we gonna tell our kids that how this building came about, you know? And we are here today to promote that, and I'm so honored to be part of the communication table. And I'm happy always to go out there and talk about the 4 working group and the social development plan. Thank you.
My name is Samhar, and whatever she says, what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to take your time. I'm so happy to be with SDP group, and I just moved 2 years ago to this neighborhood, but I used to volunteer or do my co-op with CSI, so I used to go up there and say, oh Lord, I wish I can be in this neighborhood, and the next thing you know, I'm here. And now I'm evolving, and I'm learning that there is TV. I didn't know. I'm so happy. There's so many resources and so many things. So I'm gonna grow, and I hope you guys gonna make me grow with you. And I'm happy. Thank you.
The June 21st, 2022 Stakeholders Table meeting ended with the announcement of Sunday in the Park. coming back this year to Regent Park in the month of August.
It's coming back, and it's coming back with a beautiful plan, and it's called Sunday in the Park. And each of one of you, we need residents, we need you guys to come back and bring this back to life. There is a committee that is working on planning it. As Waleed has also informed us, we are hiring somebody. So if you are looking for a job, and you don't have to have a lot of event experience, but you will have a strong committee behind you, we will make it happen. So apply for the job, and let's make this Sunday event that is a legacy of this community something we can all be proud of.
Beautification Project 2022 takes place in Regent Park. Dundas East Beautification Project 2022 took place in Regent Park on Saturday, June 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Supported by the City of Toronto, Daniels Corporation, and the Center for Social Innovation. Residents from the community enjoyed giveaways of plants and seeds grown in Regent Park, snacks, balloons, and music.
Hi, my name is Ann Kirkland. I live in the Sumac on Sumac Street. I've lived here for 3 years, and I moved here specifically because I love this community. I had studied city planning a long time ago, and this is exactly the kind of community that I hoped would exist. I am really happy that we're getting back to being together in person. So this is a wonderful day to celebrate the beginning of summer. One of many wonderful things happening in Regent Park that bring people together. This event is called Dundas East Beautification Project. And I became aware of our neighboring community that had wonderful street planting all up and down the street and in the laneways, and found out the city has a program to provide free plants to neighborhoods who are willing to do the work of preparing the soil, planting, and maintaining them. And so I got together with a bunch of people in the neighborhood, and we decided Dundas would be a great place to try to do this.
Thank you for the program, and beautiful. As I see, safe, Regent Park is safe, and we have a lot of program here. You can come if you want to, and to see how many things we are doing right for the kids, for the family, especially this weather. We need to fresh our mind. You know, it's been like a long time we don't go out, even to spend time with our family. This is the right time to be here now. You know, just to enjoy the day. You know?
To watch a full video report, go to Regent Park TV YouTube channel.
Taste of Regent Park returns every Wednesday from July 6, 2022 to September 21st, 2022. The vibrant weekly market Taste of Regent Park returns this summer 2022, starting every Wednesday from July 6 to September 21st from 5 p.m. until sunset, featuring talented local artisans, craftspeople, community organizations, food vendors, caterers, and entertainers. In the heart of Regent Park, people come together every summer in the big park to celebrate, share, and enjoy delicious, healthy, affordable, and culturally diverse foods. Taste of Regent Park stimulates social engagement and increased safety in Toronto's downtown east, increase good food access, and foster local employment and training opportunities. You can expect community meal prepared by local caterers, local vendors selling clothing, jewelry, art, crafts, and food, entertainment, community information, and resources. For more information, visit fredvictor.org/Taste of Regent Park 2.
Toronto community housing buildings score worst in city's own evaluations. According to a Toronto Star analysis, buildings owned by Toronto's social housing provider have consistently received lower scores than other types of property under the city's own apartment appraisal program. The program, called Rent Safe TO, aims to assess property owners' compliance with basic building maintenance standards, and its assessment is based on inspections of common facilities such as security, stairwells, outdoor grounds, elevators, laundry rooms, trash rooms, and lobbies. Records posted to the city's open data portal shows details of more than 9,700 assessments conducted between 2017 and 2021, classified Toronto Community Housing Corporation buildings as privately owned buildings and nonprofits. On average, the two scored by social housing get a lower score. The analysis comes as a roof collapse on the Swansea Mews TCHC campus last month has drawn public attention to the sometimes dire state of Toronto's social housing stock. The incident injured one person and forced the evacuation of 400 others during the agency's investigation. Between 2017 and 2021, about 950 rent-safe TO properties of about 330 TCHC properties took place, and they had an average score of 69.7%. This was compared to 72.4% for privately owned buildings. Non-TCHC social housing providers scored the highest, with an average of 75.4%. We acknowledge and share the frustrations of TCHC tenants who have been affected by the problems that this data reflects. TCHC spokesman Robin Smith said in a statement regarding the rent-safe TO numbers, "While TCHC has faced historic underfunding for building capital repairs, we are strongly committed to bringing all of our buildings in good repair condition to improve living conditions and quality of life for tenants." Dania Majid, a staff lawyer advocacy center for Tenants Ontario, said the common areas assessed under the program can give an indication of the overall condition of the building. Majid said it is not surprising that TCHC buildings scored lower under the rent-safe TO program than other types of buildings. She said the agency has struggled with underfunding since the province placed the responsibility of social housing on municipalities in the late 1990s, without providing long-term financial support for its maintenance. This means that problems in Toronto community housing buildings often only get a patchwork fix until the problem gets out of hand.
Toronto Police Chief apologizes to Black community as race-based data released. Toronto's Black residents receive an apology from the city's interim police chief on Wednesday, June 15th, as the force released previously unseen race-based data showing disproportionate use of force on them. Interim Chief James Raymer said the force needs to do better. The newly released statistics show Black people face a disproportionate amount of police enforcement and use of force, and were more likely to have an officer point a gun at them, whether perceived as armed or unarmed, than white people in the same situation. Raymer acknowledged that data will cause pain for many.
As an organization, we have not done enough to ensure that every person in our city receives fair and unbiased policing. And for this, as Chief of Police, and on behalf of the service, I am sorry and I apologize unreservedly. The release of this data will cause pain for many. Your concerns have deep roots that go beyond the release of today's report. We must improve, and we will do better.
Raymer's apology was swiftly rejected by some. "This is insulting to Black people," Beverly Bain, with no pride in policing coalition, told the interim chief at the news conference, noting that Black people have called for years for police to stop treating them unfairly.
You talk about it being a painful and a hurtful process to your police officers, but this is insulting to Black people. This is insulting to Indigenous people. This is insulting to racialized people. This is insulting to the homeless, to those of us who are queer and trans, who are, last year, we experienced the attacks on people in encampment sites. We experienced the brutality. We have been calling for defunding. We have been calling for having that funds be divested to communities to create sustainable housing, to create sustainable community resources and services by the community to support communities. None of that has happened. What have we witnessed? An escalation in policing budget, a deployment of more police to communities in the form of community policing, which we have already said does not work. In fact, it puts us more at risk. Chief Raymer, we do not accept your apology.
These statistics released Wednesday relate to incidents that took place in 2020. The figures show Black people, though they made up about 10% of the city's population that year, faced 22.6% of police enforcement action, At the same time, 39.4% of use of force incidents involve Black people. White people, who represented roughly 46% of Toronto's population in 2020, face proportionally less enforcement and less use of force. Toronto Police laid out 38 recommendations to address the findings. Those include engaging with Black, Indigenous, and other communities to understand the data and discuss a path forward, implementing a mandatory review of body-worn camera footage for all use of force incidents, and requiring officers on probation during their first year of service to debrief with supervisors after use of force incidents.
1 in 5 Canadians reported going hungry due to rising food prices. A new survey suggests a growing number of Canadians are struggling with the rising cost of food, as prices for basics like pasta, bread, and meat all soar. The poll from Food Banks Canada indicates hunger and food insecurity are increasing across the country, with lower-income Canadians hit hardest by inflation. The survey conducted by Mainstream Research found almost a quarter of Canadians reported eating less than they should because there wasn't enough money for food, a figure that nearly doubled for those earning under $50,000 a year. It also found 1 in 5 Canadians reported going hungry at least once between March 2020 and March 2022. Food Banks Canada CEO Kristen Beardsley says the majority of food banks are already stretched to their limit, and this summer is expected to be the toughest in the organization's 41-year history. Food banks in most regions of Canada are experiencing an influx of Canadians visiting food banks for the first time, a number that's increased by up to 25% in some regions, she said in a statement. Canadians are telling us that they are running out of money for food because of rising houses, gas, energy, and food costs.
COVID-19 and vaccination update. The pandemic is not over. 7th COVID wave possible this fall, Dr. Theresa Tam tells MPs. The pandemic is not over. Dr. Theresa Tam told MPs at the Commons Health Committee, "We think that it is very likely that we will get some more viral activity in the future, and we can't predict exactly how big the next wave is, but I think we need to prepare." Tam testified to MPs as part of the review of health spending this year. She said she is concerned that some of the subvariants of the COVID-19 Omicron variant could be a problem. But she is also concerned that other new variants could emerge. She said 2 doses of the vaccine are only 20% effective against Omicron, with effectiveness rising to 60% for 3 doses. Omicron is a game changer, Tam said. Prior to that, 2 doses of a vaccine, for example, had very high efficacy against an infection as well as severe outcomes. Vaccines proved less effective in providing immunity to Omicron. However, the variant itself produced generally mild symptoms and was less likely to result in severe outcomes.
And now with vaccination clinics in the neighborhood. Regent Park Vaccination Clinic opens on Tuesdays from 3 to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. at 40 Oak. Appointments are strongly recommended. Walk-ins are also accepted until vaccine supplies last. Both Moderna and Pfizer vaccines are available. For more information, please visit regentparkchc.org/COVID-19 vaccine clinic. The weekly COVID-19 vaccination clinic at the 519 will be taking a break June 22 and 29th. We will resume in July. A wellness clinic will take place at St. Jamestown Community Corner, 200 Wellesley Street East, on Tuesday, June 21st and 28th, from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can get your vaccine doses, get cancer screening, and mental health support. Connect to on-site intake worker. For more questions or appointment, call at 416-347-0943.
Jabin and Victoria has an update on events and jobs in Regent Park.
Now for events and jobs in Regent Park. The City of Toronto, in partnership with the neighborhood group TNG, has launched the second round of the Toronto Downtown East Resident Grant. Resident-led groups located in the downtown East area can now apply for up to $8,000 to fund your resident-led initiative. To be successful, your project should demonstrate alignment with at least one of the following priorities: building strong and resilient communities, creating inclusive and supportive community networks, improving spaces and safety through community action. Apply by July 11th. For more information and full grant guidelines, please visit Downtown East Resident Grants 2022, thetrustyhub.ca. If you have any questions about the Downtown East Resident Grant, you can contact Bjorn at the email below, bjorn.wagenpfl@tngcs.org, and Lindsay Jackson at lindsay.jackson@toronto.ca. Healing as One, CSI, Second Harvest, and Center of Learning and Development brings you free meals for Regent Park youth all summer long. Each week this summer from July 4th to August 26th, food and activity kits for kids will be available at the Daniel Spectrum in the CSI Community Living Room. Participation is free and open to all youth in Regent Parks ages 5 to 19 on a first-come, first-served basis. Sign up at the link below, survey.zohopublic.com/zs/VOCNNX. And finally, the Regent Park Cultural Bazaar. Regent Park Cultural Bazaar 2022 is here. Shop locally and support artisans and designers every Friday from June 24th to September 2nd. Admission is free at 660 Dundas Street East from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be live music, raffles, henna, multicultural food, popcorn, and cotton candy, artisanal products, and more. Hope to see you there.
Jobs and training in Regent Park. Are you interested in media arts and broadcast journalism? Focus Media Arts Center is hiring summer community media broadcast journalists for Radio Regent and Regent Park TV. Preferred candidates should have an interest in media arts and be familiar with the Regent Park area. For 6 summer job positions from July 11, 2022 to August 26, 2022, 30 hours a week, $15 hourly. You will produce journalistic videos and radio podcasts, conduct interviews about issues in the neighborhood, and gain awesome new media skills. Residents of Regent Park are prioritized. To apply, please send a cover letter along with your resume to info@focusmediaarts.ca. Muslim social service users. Researchers from the University of Toronto, University of Regina, Toronto Metropolitan University, and community partners are seeking participants for a research study examining the experiences of Muslims accessing social services in Ontario. You are eligible if you identify as Muslim, are at least 16 years old, currently reside in Ontario, have access to a computer and internet, and are using or have used social services in the past 2 years. The study includes participating in one-time 2-hour virtual focus group with other Muslims, completing one short online questionnaire. All participants will receive a $20 honorarium. Recruitment ongoing until July 31st, 2022. For more information and register, visit the link below. Are you looking for a fun volunteer opportunity this summer? Taste of Regent Park is recruiting for a festival of volunteers. Shifts on Wednesday until 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. starting on July 6th. There will be an in-person information session on Monday, June 20th at 4:30 p.m. For more information, contact Diane Johnson at djohnson@frederick.org or 416-364-8228, extension 1330. That was all for events and jobs in Regent Park. Hope to see you there.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Victoria and my co-hosts are Fred and Jabin. We also like to thank our team of researchers that contributed for this week's show and from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you never miss out on any of our content. If you'd also like more, you can find us on our other social media platforms. And if you want even more, you can look at our website.